Kanata is home, but she's a little transformed. I'm Sandy.
And I'm John.
And this is My Lady Disdain with your Smart Doll News. Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. It's another Monday, which is hopefully a good thing, because it's time for the Smart Doll News.
Yeah, I mean, guess get to look forward to Monday now.
Yeah.
Right?
Hopefully. So, as beginning with each show, we want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone in the chat right now. It's getting lively in there.
Yeah, it's been active for a while now.
Yeah. And thank you, most importantly, to the wonderful members of our community who last week were willing to help us out by doing some super chats and some super stickers. And that was Janice Harding, Nefertiti Kimagawa, and Amy Zickerman. Thank you guys. It was just really great, again, week after week, to see the support that you all show us. If you want to show your support or even just break through the noise of chat and get your message heard, check out the super chat. We really appreciate anything you all can give. Thank you so much. So, shall we get in to it?
I think we should.
Let us start with, well, okay, normally we start with a section, but Danny likes to post lots of things around the office, but he also posts things around his, life, walking to and from home, I think, Tokyo pictures, things like that. So often, like, pictures of his home desk. And there was some chatter in the Discord, I think this came out today, this morning.
Yep.
About, are we getting shrines for the dolls? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But this is, Danny right here is clearly just, looking at his iPad, and looking at, I don't know if it's a video or just a graphic, but it's actually a graphic demonstrating sort of how buildings are prepared for earthquakes.
Because they've had a couple recently.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of his way to say, we're good.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's a lot of people sending, well wishes out there, worrying about Danny, and they don't seem to have been impacted at all by the earthquakes that have happened recently. So everything's good, and it's kind of interesting if you start to dig into. You can actually see the graphic here. Showing the forces, essentially the tensile forces, and how the various beams and support push or pull in one way or the other to keep the building up. But yeah, I ran this through Google Translate, and it's all just earthquake forces and things like that.
Showing the strength of the buildings.
Yeah. So everyone's good. I think we would hear if something bad is happening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He would let us know. But yeah, so don't worry.
He's been a public figure for a while. I think he would let us know if there was something going on.
He let us know when they came in after an earthquake and like all the dolls had like fallen over all over the building in their offices. So all right. First up, if I can scroll, I will just do that. There. Mech body. The mech body is been taking multiple forms.
Yeah.
We talked about it just being a frame.
Mm-hmm.
Then a cyborg.
Right. We've gotten some full body sketches of one.
Yeah. And now, well, if this were any hint, Danny's been playing Detroit Beyond Human, which is a story about androids.
Yeah.
And he's also been doodling androids. So this is pretty cool. This is like the frame.
But it's like different, he's drawn it like it's the proportions are different.
It's like take a frame and now put like a complete skeleton, right, of an android kind of thing.
And it's got like coolant stuff going through it and
yes.
whatnot.
Yeah, adding these tubings and things. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I just like this very. This to me looks very like a VR helmet. But I really like this one. It's got sort of a chappy feel to it.
That's actually, isn't that what's on the head there? Close
not
to it?
Exactly. This is like more like a 3-panel thing in the front, whereas this is like
one
on either side. Yeah, very, very interesting. Here is a 3D rendering of that helmet. So he's actually going so far as to start like printing some of this.
I didn't even realize that's what that was.
Yeah, you could see on his computer screen in front the helmet from the other sketch, which you could see. There you go.
That's cool. It kind of gives like it's more characters to interact with the smart dolls.
Yeah.
You know, rather than just going, well, what are they fighting? Well, I don't know, but now there's robots, now there's androids. You know?
Well, that is one of the things that Danny hasn't ever filled in the gaps on with his stories so much is who are the entitled? Right. Besides the obvious metaphor and allusion to entitled people. But, you know, in the universe, like, what do the entitled look like?
Right.
I've actually started to feel like, you know, the blue people are sort of the entitled, but that's probably because of our story that we're developing, and the blue's sort of not exactly a benevolent force in the universe. Right. One more picture. This just dropped today.
A fully articulated hand.
Like, let's hope so. The easy thing would be it's not. It just looks like one, right?
It's just like the combat gloves,
right?
Yeah.
And it almost looks like you can see here where he's actually like creating carving out for the hand to go in, possibly. It's hard to say.
But if you go a little bit more to your left, like there are actually some numbers and stuff in there in light colors, in like light gray.
Yeah, it looks like angles. Like that looks like negative 101 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 93 degrees.
And you know, like all the points being on each of the fingers. I don't know what is that just because of the drawing and the angle he wants to show them in, or are those actually representing something that's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. This is whatever it is. I really do hope it's articulated. It would be amazing.
I gotta think that they would be very expensive.
Well, okay, let's look at it this way though. This is something that's going to be on the probably more expensive side, not something that somebody's going to get that many of. I wouldn't think, right? Mm-hmm. Like the hands work for the dolls because you can swap them between things. I think it would make more sense and more usability to have one thing, although more expensive to make, that is infinitely posable.
Right. I mean, this looks like it could be a droid hand too, though. You know what I mean? Like it could just be a droid hand, not a smart doll hand.
Oh, I totally think this is an android hand. Yeah. I'm just saying whether or not it's articulated or whether or not he's going to use the old methods of just making molds in different positions. Mm-hmm. Anna says articulation on that scale is very possible. Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's just a matter of how's he going to, like, beyond 3D printing, how, like, he's gonna, that's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive in that, like, I mean, to have somebody have to put those together, because you're not going to 3D print that already put together. It's got to be joints that you put together.
Yeah.
So, like, someone's gonna have to spend time putting fingers together.
Yeah. Anasikafus says, perfect Violet Evergarden hands. And
yeah.
Good call.
Throw those on Entropy. You have got Violet Evergarden.
Yep. All right. So, really looking forward to this. And just to be clear, I always like to look at the Danny's nomenclature for his files, like what is he calling the various files that he's working on? Sometimes you find little things. This isn't really anything, but I do want to make clear he is calling this Android.
Yep, Android Hand version 1. Yep.
So we shall see. Looking forward to it. Next up is Faces. This is usually where the biggest news of, the big news always comes out of the Faces, right?
Yeah, we got quite a bit there today. Okay, so these are the Genesis glasses.
That is correct. No, not Genesis. Well, are these the Genesis?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those are the Genesis glasses.
Oh, you know what? You're totally right. And then I've completely mixed this up then. We can just ignore this one because I had it in my head that he was putting in...
But based on the theory that you and I were discussing earlier today, which we could get into later...
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, anyways, there are Genesis glasses coming, it looks like.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So, not what I was intending here, but what I thought that was leading to was... this, which I totally forget every time that she has the round glasses.
She has the rounded ones, yeah.
So shortly after our last live, like in the next day or two, Danny actually announced that Kanata Semi-Real is coming. And we've been asking about Kanata, the whole chat. Honestly, we had kind of been ignoring it for a while.
Yeah.
And every night or every week, the chat was like, where's Kanata?
Yeah.
So we had to start asking. And Kanata is still gone. Anime, the original version of Kanata, is still not around on the store, but Semi-Real is coming. And we'll get to
what's happening
happening with her, yeah. She is on the G7 sculpt, and she has her posed here in the police uniform, which I have been dying for so long. And, I gotta say that there is something that is missing.
I think she's beautiful. Let's take that for the record. She is a gorgeous, gorgeous smart doll.
Yeah.
She's missing a little bit of her fire.
There is the G7 sculpt. I am calling it. It's too friggin' cute. It is so cute that all the serious girls that have gone over to it, Genesis, Genesis changed a little bit. Dauntless, and Kanata have lost a little bit of their edge in the process.
Yeah, I mean, and they're still beautiful dolls. Like, we own Genesis. We love her. Dauntless is still a beautiful doll, but she is definitely different in translation.
Yeah. I think I've got a picture here. So here this is the only picture I could reasonably find, which is T. So disregard the skin tone difference, but the face up is the same. This is Kanata, and the eyebrow, I think, is one of the areas that changed slightly that could be kind of adding to this feeling for us.
Mm-hmm. I think all of her makeup too is just a little bit more, sharp.
Yeah.
Whereas when you convert it to Semi-Real, it's got a lot more softness to it. It's curvier.
And this especially the eyebrow. This is where I'm seeing it the most. I'm gonna let this go through. Kaylin Sky says she has sass instead of piss and vinegar, and I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah.
She's more neutral. She's a little bit more neutral than she used to be. And I've always loved the serious girls personally. I love the more extreme expressions like Chitose as well. To point out ambition. So the anime sculpts seem to some extent pull off, it pretty well. And the old sculpts for Semi-Real.
Right.
So, yeah. I guess, is this a fail? No.
No.
But there is a little bit, it's different, and it's going to take some getting used to. I would say, if I were to give feedback to Danny, whatever, would be, I'd love to see it for, I would love to see a G7 girl that really pushed the seriousness and brought back some of that sort of RBF kind of...
Well, I will say he is talking about doing, he's doing expressions.
Yep.
So we could end up with a ticked off G7 girl with, eyebrows going down into her, forehead and stuff.
If we legitimately get alternative heads for dolls like this,
yeah,
I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. If I've got if you're left with one, I'd love to see these a little sterner, but, so yeah. Next up is the Angry Chi head that we've been seeing around. We saw her on a desk. We saw her, we got a closer picture on the wall. And we believe this is her. And she's starting to evolve a bit, get a little bit more. I mean, it could be different, but I don't, it would surprise me if he's working on multiple dolls on the Chi sculpt right now.
Yeah.
And this looks close enough to the other one that it looks more like an evolution of the girl that we've seen.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but it does kind of look more like an evolution of the one that we've seen.
Here is moving to a fuller painted version. And the interesting thing here is we've got a softness here because we've got the dark brown and the medium brown. And then this little bit of gray peeking in there. Now, we've been going back and forth about, is this an actual alternative head or new version of Chi? I literally was had multiple threads in Discord going and flipping my opinion.
I mean, I'm right now, I'm still trying to place it, but I'm landing on that it may be a multiverse of somebody, but not Chi.
Okay.
Just using the Chi sculpt. Because it could be a multiverse of, original Chi didn't use, obviously, the multiverse head, right? She became multi-Chi. Right? So now you could take, say, I don't know, this is not who I'm thinking it is. I'm just saying, throw it out there. Melody. Right? What about Melody multiverse? Or, something like that. He did say, if you guys want to see any more dolls done differently, more dolls done semi-real or more dolls done anime, what would you like to see? Let me know. So there's it could be a semi-real girl going anime. It could be another anime girl getting a different sculpt.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, that theory is it could be anything. I'm inclined, until we see more and have real clues, I'm inclined to believe that this is its own doll. Everything can't be, everything can't be a multiverse version of everything else.
Berrywing says the open mouth. How many girls have that? Chi 40. Dimension. Felicity.
But why would Felicity go?
Why did Chi?
Well, yeah, all right. Yeah, you're just saying. So but it literally could be anything. There is no.
There's a bunch of dolls it could be, and
we have no evidence of even comparing the eyebrows.
Yeah,
to another one.
and the fact is, we can't even go by the open mouth because like, Semi-Real Mirai has freckles. Mirai didn't have freckles,
So
So
we're going to watch this one and see what happens. Next, we have another shot of Chi. I left this in there just to kind of compare it to the other one. I mean, it's definitely the eyebrows are definitely different. The other one has a fold up here above the split, and whereas Chi has it down here. It's very drastically different than.
Chi's little mouth is so cute.
It is. It is ridiculous. So we're going to take a pause on that theory and come back to it when we've got more to work with. Now, the other big thing that he announced was the actual release of Knowledge.
Knowledge did come out.
So we were seeing the signs, and she came out, and she went.
Yep. She's still there.
Oh, is she still available?
Yeah, she's still available. She hasn't sold out yet. I don't think she ever did sell through, but I could be wrong. But she is on the store right now. So that's cool. I just want that wig.
Yeah. Does anybody want a wigless Knowledge?
Anybody buying Knowledge planning to not use the wig?
But she's very pretty. There are just a lot of dolls coming out right now. It's interesting to see if she lasts, if like you were predicting that she'll only do like one round of it. He will announce that though. He'll let us know.
Yeah.
He'll let us know if for any other reason than to get us to buy it. Like,
I mean, I did say it was because like one of my reasons was because she's not G7, but Dimension's not G7. And she's been on the store for a while, so...
Steamworks Unicorn says, the wig makes her. Sorry, guys. That wig makes every doll.
I fell in love with that wig when Danny showed it on Future when he first announced her. And I've wanted it ever since.
Yep.
And I'm like, I just never have gotten it.
Yeah, this is having weird, fun things with the... Okay, there we go. Sorry, the chat wouldn't go away. So we've got Knowledge, and then this dropped. We've got Semi-Real 40 with her product shots. Well, not fully edited because the product shots generally have the name. Well, no, actually, no. The product shots don't do they? The product shots are exactly this.
Yeah.
And then one of them or more
will have the name across it.
Well, I think that's for putting out on like a post or something. So,
I think it's kind of neat that T40 is over there on the right.
Yep. Love the short version here versus the long.
Yeah, I love that wig too. Like that's the cropped wigs are so cute.
Next up is apparel. Just as soon as we mention that if you're liking the Smart Doll News, if you like staying informed every week about what Danny's been putting out there into the world, and you like making ridiculous, theories and speculations about what's coming down the pipe, give this video a like. And that will help YouTube spread this to more people and get it out there. We really do appreciate it, and hopefully we can build up the community and get more people in the live every single week.
That would be awesome.
And if you're not joining us in the live, you should do it. It's every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Karen Green says, does Dallas Dalco have a wig anything like that one? I don't think anybody has nailed the apricot color.
Yeah.
The apricot color is I don't know, it's an interesting shade. It does have a little bit of a pink tone to it. I don't think anybody has quite gotten it. There's people have gotten close, but not quite right.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's a good timing there, Janice. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That is It's a little chipmunk or something with the.
I think it's like a Shiba Inu.
That's hard to tell. I'm gonna go with chipmunk, although it doesn't have like the more dark stripe things. But thank you, Janice.
Thank you,
appreciate
Janice.
it. So we have apparel now. The apparel is basically well, how do I put this? A little weird.
Okay, it's awesome for the record, but it is kind of like some weird fever dream.
I wish the print scale is a little big. Like if I had my druthers, I'd like get it down just a smidge. But with the legs on these dolls, the giraffe stockings are hilarious.
You need to get some really big platforms for them too.
Yes.
It'd be awesome.
And you have to put them in the stockings.
Yeah.
Oh no, I get black, I guess, or black platforms, so it's like the hoof or something.
Right, but no, it would look kind of cool, like wrapped around a boot too.
Yeah. This is fantastic. I hope he just keeps doing this. He just went like, oh, they have more animal prints. Speaking of prints,
Camo.
got some camo stuff happening. So what would you like to see in camo?
I am not, for the record, a huge fan of camo. However, so if we can take a look and see what we're looking at. We are looking at cotton printed ripstop. So this is jackets, most likely, bags, things like that.
So this is a thicker.
It's a more rugged material.
Yep.
For hence the name ripstop. If I was gonna say I'd like anything in camo, maybe a bikini.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I want the typical stuff. I would like. Not. I mean, he could do his typical jeans, but I would like sort of scrunchy, baggy cargo pants. Mm-hmm. Would be kind of cool. Kind of like the is it the Dalgeret streetwear pants that you had?
Oh, you're talking about the Dalgeret street dance.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
But baggy pants. I want those. Normally, I'm not a big fan of this sort of stuff, but I would love to see this on T Genesis.
Yeah, she'd probably wear it very well. The other thing that would
with a
look
bikini
cool
top,
would be just basically the solar marine jacket, the with the drawstring in the waist, that kind of a jacket could look pretty cool.
An old, distressed, worn, military jacket or something like that would be fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. I'm always surprised at the things that, I'm like, well, that will look good on a particular doll. I don't like it at all, but it
some
fits
dolls
them.
It will work, yeah.
It's not even that it will work, it's that they want it. you know? It works, and
I could see even London here wanting to rock some camo.
You need a serious face. That's sort of
yeah.
All right. So this one took people a couple minutes to see what was happening. I looked at this instantly and I was like, it's a cloak. And it's like, you might be fooled in your head to think that this is like, oh, it's just the Batgirl thing and move on. Mm-hmm. But the Batgirl cape attaches with 3 pieces on 3 snaps on the shoulders, something like that.
And it's a different color.
So. Exactly. And this snaps around the neck, and in the back we can see the pattern.
Yep. So that big snap is actually acting sort of like what might have been a big brooch,
something like that,
or something.
I would, and I would love to do, I would love to see somebody do some engraving on that snap or something.
That'd be very cool. Or you could even, if you can't do something like that, you could even do clear vinyl with a design on it.
Yep.
And cover it over. I mean, and then of course, those of us who sew have cover buttons. You can cover it with fabric if you wanted it to be different.
Yep.
So,
it's always interesting to see his tricks of like creating that sort of like looseness of like fabric at the top by just doing gathers. And like he does a lot of like, I'm gonna sew this in such a way that it looks as if it were laying that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I want this. This is very cool. Unfortunately, all our girls are way too tall to be hobbits. So
more human face masks.
yeah, I'm wondering though. I mean, this is a new design, right?
I guess. I mean, it's definitely new fabric, probably lighter weight for summer.
Well, it's just using drawstrings. I don't remember what we got in one chaos box, you know, ages ago, was like grommets.
Yeah, and that's right. I don't see any grommets, but they are on the pattern.
Are they?
Yeah, that where the pen is pointing.
No, that's way too in. Like, why would it be that? That's like all the way in here to. I don't know why that would be there.
I guess I'd have to look at it. I just assumed that
grommets
was the grommet
would be
point. Here.
There would be multiples of them.
Yeah, I mean that usually like they use that for like grain and stuff, but usually that's like there's gonna be some sort of.
I would expect like a grommet here and a grommet there or something like that.
But this folds back too. You're forgetting that these pieces would fold back onto that. If you look at the shape of the mask, it's folded. You're seeing end pieces up near the ruler that get folded in.
I suppose.
And you can see if you look down on the mask itself, there is an X there,
yep.
Probably for inserting the grommet.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So, nothing new then.
Everybody else is talking about the fold while I'm speaking. Yeah, that's what she said.
I was just hoping. I just don't like the grommets.
You don't have to deal with the grommets. All they're for is for putting a carabiner and hanging down your waist.
I guess it was weird to me that like you have a mask and there's a hole in the mask. Like, I don't know. They're also, I mean, they're way too small for me because I have a gigantic American face.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
you actually have a gigantic German face.
All right, if we're getting into my like background, it's German English. Thank you. That's why I'm very strident, apparently.
Accessories.
Okay, so one of the other big stories this week that Danny talked about was creating vinyl boots.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been seeing this for a while with the Chelsea boot. And here we go. I guess this is probably getting ready for the mold. We have here is the boots after they've been molded. He's been taking the leather shoes and making silicone molds, you know, duplicating the shoes exactly to then be able to make vinyl versions of them. Mm-hmm. And the vinyl versions, so you can see here, we have leather, we have the mold or the master maybe, and then the vinyl version of it. And often, almost all the time, in order to get one of the interesting things that he talked about in his post was that they have to make sure that you can get the foot in them. Mm-hmm. And because you don't have laces or anything like that, and the part on the Chelsea boots that would stretch is here.
And it's obviously not going to stretch because
right.
it's molded in.
It's all going to stretch, however much the vinyl
will
stretches.
Stretch. Yeah.
So they have to put a slice down the back, and then if they're putting a slice down the back, they have to put a little circle to make sure that the slice doesn't just keep going and mm-hmm. open up more. So all of this, like, why is he even really doing this? What does Danny get out of, like, making the vinyl shoes versus the leather?
Well, I mean, he's doing it because he's had a lot of requests from people to make more, like, vegan shoes, basically.
Yeah.
Like shoes for, you know, that are less cruel to animals.
And it's really weird sort of balancing act, right? Like, we're choosing between essentially the animals and the planet. Like those are the two things. Like, if you want to be real about it, shouldn't be either of this, which technically means he shouldn't even be in business. He actually talked about that in one of the posts about trying to have a smaller footprint, how bad, you know, vinyl is for the environment. So it's this interesting sort of, you know, as consumers, we focus on, like, okay, I want, I don't want real leather. I want to, you know, I want it to be cruelty free. And sometimes, like, our replacements for those are bad in a totally different way.
It's like you were just talking about, you know, briefly about the grocery store, that they were complaining at the convenience store because they had to give John a paper bag, and they hate paper bags.
Yeah.
And you know, they were like, it's so bad for the environment. It's bad for well, the plastic is bad for the environment too. We just didn't know, like, which one's better to use. My thoughts on it are, okay, I'm all for the cruelty-free. I don't use any cruelty-free beauty products. That's one of the commitments that I have made in my life.
Yep.
But I love the leather boots. And leather, technically, if Danny wanted to do it, he could purchase scrap leather from other companies that are making larger leather goods.
Right, so that he is using things that would be thrown away otherwise. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's various sort of lines and tacks that you could do. It makes sense. And where was the Magic Durgan said, he pretty much said in his post that if you really don't want plastic stuff, you probably shouldn't be doing
smart dolls are made of plastic, right?
And I think, you know, when you think about smart doll and even the accessories, you know, you think about the fact that they don't, like, they're not, like, fast, like, they're not used and out. They're not disposable. They are things that you're going to hold on to, assumedly, for quite a long while, and they resell.
Right. Whereas, I mean, like I said, you can make leather boots out of scrap leather, which, although it's still leather, at least could be purchasing it from somebody who was otherwise just going to throw it away. And the other thing would be that, oh gosh, I don't know where my brain just went on that. Oh, the dolls aren't going to wear them out. Like, you know, we wear out our leather shoes, and then they end up in landfills.
There's wear, but there's also deterioration. Mm-hmm. And vinyl will deteriorate over time. I mean, the one thing to consider is, like, the dolls are not forever. Eventually, the dolls will break down. Will break down enough where they're not going to be like this anymore. I mean, you get that even just with, like, the yellowing and thing that can happen on dolls. Why didn't, I don't even mention this in the post, why didn't Danny just start using, you know, vegan leather? I hate that term.
I didn't read that in the post. I forget.
It was basically something about how well it lasts. Like, what he has found in his experience is that it starts to flake off. This
is true. I mean, like, even if you look at, like, I've got purses upstairs, like, that are made of faux leather, and they flake you. The color comes off, and you end up with, like, black lines on it.
Stress points start to the outer piece, like, starts to break, and then and then it starts to peel.
I mean, and if you look at vinyl shoes that you get from like Maury Time, etc., while they do have some really good shoes, we have shoes that the straps, like when you can only put them through the buckles so many times before they start to shred and look horrible.
Yep.
So, leather just lasts longer, and yes, the glue will break down, but you can re-glue them.
Right.
So it's really, they're both options are viable, and it's just, what do you want? And someone commented that he did say that it would be cheaper to get the vinyl boots will be cheaper than the leather ones.
He will sell them. They are a higher upfront cost for him to develop them. But over time that will even out and be cheaper, so he will actually the price will be lower on them.
Right. As long as people are interested in them and buying them.
Yeah.
I wonder, did he say in the article, I can't remember, whether he was going to produce both? Or is he going to go and just see what's more popular? Is he going to keep doing leather and also making vinyl ones?
He didn't specifically say, I don't think. Here would be my guess. Let's say his goal is to do that. I'm guessing he would mock up a shoe in leather and then make the mold off of it each time. So he's using scrap leather or things like that, but he's always replicating, because he can deal with smaller pieces or smaller amounts, and he's not dealing with making lots of it. So I would guess that my guess is there would be leather involved in the process at some point for a brief period to mock it up and get it right and then do it. Because that's one of the things Danny loves, is how the vinyl, making the silicone mold, captures all of that texture in the boot.
Yeah. This one. Janice Harding said, the company that manufactures Doc Marten boots are created by using leather from the waste products of the beef industry. Exactly. I mean, there is, if you can get it coordinated, there is a way to use more than, but of course, if you're vegan, you don't want the beef industry either. So there's that. But Doc Marten also does coated canvas and gets some really cool boots out of coated canvas with prints on them that are just awesome. I would love some of those really artistic Doc Martens for in doll scale. The ones that have Starry Night painted all over them.
Right.
Things like that.
All right. Let's move on from one big, somewhat unanswerable question.
Right.
Danny posted these two different boots. Yeah, Danny posted these, and I can't remember who it was. They're probably in chat. In the Discord, suggested that these were distressed. I want to say these are they do look.
They look softer, but it could be lighting.
But I mean, here definitely look like there's some, whether it's distressing or I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, I don't think our brown boots are that light colored or have that much. I think they're much darker.
No, but then he does show then I mean, this is the dyed leather. This is the wine red. And I guess how they're dyeing it. I'm not sure how to take this picture or what we're actually being shown here. Whether it's just they're dyeing some things, or are we actually dyeing those boots that we saw before?
Yeah, I don't know, but they are gorgeous. I mean, it looks like there's multiple shades of red being chosen, and they're just they've got so much dimension. Yeah,
definitely.
Bucket hats!
How about some bucket hats? I think these are gonna look so good.
They're really cute. Really, really cute.
Now, isn't this where you're I'm where are the grommets now? Although grommets of that size are probably much bigger pain in the butt to work with. But, cannot wait for these. I'm sure it'll be next year. But these are very cool. I actually said this is the type of thing that's like, you see it on here and then you just start hunting in chaos bundles for.
Yeah, those are really cute. Because basically you can put that with, those are regular clothes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing crazy about them. It's, I'm having a bad hair day and that's it.
Okay, Raven Ghoul with the dancing. I don't know what these stickers are, but the dancing woot sticker. Thank you so much, Raven Ghoul. And again, I said it before. I love your name. This is yeah. Thank you. We have one more particular piece of pictures, if I'm on the right thing. There we go. And we got some Batgirl Cowls.
Another hat to look at.
Yep. I'll take these. I'll take a totem made out of these.
What could you do with those? Like if he was able to sell extras, which I'm sure he's not, right, because of the licensing. But if you could, you could make keychains out of them. You could make cool stuff with them.
That's kind of yeah. I don't know. I would just want a stack of them like this, or like just gloves that are just like, hello, I'm Batgirl.
Brass knuckles, like you put one on, like a bunch of them on your knuckles on a glove.
Yeah, it's like, except it's the ears. So more signs. I know that you probably at this point think it's not going to happen. I'm still holding out hope for a Q1 Batgirl release. We have 2. I feel like if it's going to happen, he's got to announce it like tomorrow for like the end, for like the end of next week or something like that. But otherwise we're slipping into April. And I'm going to put this out there. And this is one for the comments. April's coming up. What do you think Danny's going to put out on April 1st? Nothing last year. Are we going to get a crazy new idea?
Yeah, I don't know.
The entire company was made around an April Fool's joke.
I mean, and he's been doing so much weird stuff. I think that he could probably get stuff over on us this year for April Fool's because he's working on so many weird, interesting things.
All right, that brings us to our moment of Squee. You want to introduce this, Sandy?
Sure. We actually, this time, we did something a little different. We actually took our moment of Squee from suggestions in our Discord.
Yeah, and if you want to submit yours, you should join our Discord. I'll give an address in a second.
And this one is from Astrana, and it is Original Starlight in Milk. And I'm assuming Sophie is her name?
Yep.
Her name is Sophie. I love this picture. This is very cute.
It's very slice of life. It's, I like what's going on here. It looks like one of those pet beds has been turned into like a garden sort of retreat.
That's got me all over it, putting like roses all over something like that. That's like, if I can embellish something with flowers and ribbons, I'm gonna do it.
This is true. And then do it again. Roses on roses on roses on roses.
She's really, really cute. I'm like, now I want Starlight and Milk. She's adorable.
This shot actually I didn't even notice she was Milk. It's a little bit cinnamon in terms of the color on the picture. But so I mean either way she's just gorgeous. Love those big eyes, and I like the 2 different eye colors. So.
Oh my goodness! We're gonna pause for a second because we have a weather report. Yeah, Kat just said to me that right before the news started, a tornado ripped through their town just down the road. She says they're fine. They were a little shaken up, but they've never had a tornado so close to them, and they're just hoping everyone else around them is okay.
All right, for those of you in Austin, Texas, stay safe, and that's probably why we haven't seen Kat in a little while. So everyone, send your thoughts out to well, Kat's just scared. She's fine, but let's hope there's no other major injuries or problems in that area. So. That brings us. I can't. There you go.
Okay, so yeah, added piece to the Monday night ritual, the Q&A.
Well, it's not added. We've been doing it for a while.
But it's actually got its own title now.
Well, yes, I figured it was.
It's a section.
It's easier for me to find it when I make the captions. So now is the time where we take your questions and chat about whatever it is you want to chat about. We don't have too much time. It was a bit of a chatty episode today, so let's see what you guys are talking about. Anne Britton Lewis says, "Where are those amazing black boots from? These are Mori time."
They are Mori time. They also come, and we actually have them on somebody, or hadn't. No, she was wearing them before they're put away.
I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall.
You got them there.
And they
come in blue.
And they come in red.
Red, like a wine red, a red. Somebody, Sophie. I think Sophie Toy Paradise has them as well. I think they're a boot that they can just obtain. And they also, I think they come in white too.
That would make sense. Eves asks, "How is Mirai liking her sister?"
They haven't spent too much time together, actually. Although are they hanging out near each other now? No, she's upstairs. Haruka's in the studio, upstairs, the photo studio.
Yep.
And Mirai is down here, evidently playing with Iki's hair.
Yeah, she's in her mandatory quarantine period since coming in the house, so she has to spend about a week in the
photo studio. Quarantine in this house is a little strange.
For the boots, do they need high-heeled feet? Like almost all boots for Smart Doll, you rarely need it.
Yeah, no, she's not wearing high heel feet.
Yeah, it's they might look a little bit nicer when, on like how the things fold around it with high heel, but not necessary.
A lot of times, like Mori Time will actually, if you actually fully read the description, they will tell you if you're putting this on Smart Doll, it needs to be Smart Doll flat feet or it needs to be Smart Doll heel feet. Smart Doll heel feet are actually a little bit longer, I think, than Smart Doll flat feet.
What I see most of the time is requires heel feet / Smart Doll flat.
Right.
Where it'll just tell you, like, because most of the time the flat works just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of room in here. So there is plenty of room for her ankle to be at a particular, like, whatever place it needs to be to look good.
We really like these because they actually do have kind of a space quality, so they may actually end up getting used in the stories as well.
Yeah, these are generally worn by Jinx, our blue kabuki. All right.
Any sewing videos in the works? Yes. There is one coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's fully recorded. It just has to have an opening, closing, and
yeah, we have to do the presentation stuff.
This part has to be done.
We've done like, yeah, you've recorded your work. I've done a cinematic for it. Mm-hmm. And we just have to sit down and record the us part.
And that's actually for the giveaway I did at New Year's. So that project is actually complete. It's just getting the video together and getting everything set to go out. And then we have another project. We have a collab coming out in April that is a big sewing project for me.
Yep. Yeah, that's gonna be.
It's a big one. So that will be the end of April. That's the project that I'm doing with Beth Ramsden, Magical Girl Kit Kat, and Sewing with Joe. Smart Doll Sewing with Joe on YouTube.
Yep.
So.
Cannot wait. And it's literally a big project.
Yeah. It's figurative. It's like, yeah. Well, no, it's all literally big.
Yeah, all literally big.
It's physically big. Oh, my shirt just got noticed. Yes.
Yep. Love the red. I've been wanting to make the Redbubble. Our random anime shirts are mostly from Redbubble, which is people throwing up like screen grabs and stuff. From things. They're not amazing quality, but they're fun, and it's fun to rep, the characters that you love.
John is doing a very specific job of when we make our shirts. He's using higher resolution graphics, so.
Yeah, and I'm also not touching licensed material illegally.
Right.
Melanie says, do you think the next blue drop will be the last? I'm going to say no.
I don't think I think that when we know we're done with Chi. I think that there's a few dolls that still sell pretty well that.
I think you're going to see it on like a per doll basis.
Yeah, like gradually he's going to go, okay, we're done with this one.
Yep.
We're done with this one. I thought Moment was going to be gone. I think I'll just put a prediction out there right now. I think Moment's going to be next to be said. We're done with her.
Could be. I mean, are there ones that we're like, we're not like, are we officially done with some of the other ones? Like you think Singularity, or is she gone? I forget where are we at with some of the other ones.
He never announced that Anime Singularity, Interstellar Blue Anime Singularity was gone.
Yeah.
She hasn't been back in a while.
Right.
And then there's Prowess and Anomaly in Interstellar Blue. And I think those are still pretty popular. I think people are still asking for them. So I think Moment will be next. But...
Barry Wings points out that she saw on the blue Kabuki on the site that it was no plans to restock. I think that's been that way for a while.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, Kabluki.
I think Kabluki didn't have but that so no plans to restock doesn't mean gone. It just means right now. At this
time, there are no plans to restock it. She has not actually gone to discontinued, decommissioning, whatever.
If everyone was up in arms right now, I think he would probably make some. I mean, in the end, we're talking about all just painting blue G7 heads, for a chunk of these.
Right.
I'm gonna guess you're gonna see the ones blue Chi is a standalone head. That is a head, that is a Chi sculpt. It's not used for multiples.
Right.
So it does not surprise me that she's the first, or one of the first to go. So I think you're going to see, I think the G7s are going to hang around the longest, and then those are going to go.
Well, that's true. I mean, Moment is also Anime Singularity, so he would probably decide to not do either of those.
Right.
Because he's going to stop doing the F6 head.
Yeah, something like that.
What else have we got?
Leon says, I'm honestly surprised at how poorly Chi seems to have sold in comparison to the others. I think
she got put out a few times.
Yeah, and I think he also put out a bunch. We don't know the numbers, right? So he had the ability based on comments and various things to get a rough count of how many people wanted her. I think she hit a particular, he hit a market saturation with her, and that's it. The other ones, they could be coming out in trickles and be, smaller amounts, and so you don't really get an idea of they've been out more, but did they sell as much? Who knows?
Back here, Anna Sifu said, have you guys ever checked out anything from Obsidian Doll Shop? We have the Totoro hat.
Yes.
From Obsidian Doll Shop. And you got something else at the same time, but I can't remember what it was.
Probably a Supreme shirt or something like that.
Yes, yeah, I think that's what it was. But yeah, the Totoro hat is very nice quality.
Yeah, the ears lay a little bit weird, but and I have never done too much with it, but I had to have it. It's for Luma, our Chitose, because she's the one obsessed, aka me, obsessed with Totoro. All right. We seem to be circling around the blue conversation without any too much new questions. So we're at an hour, and I think we're gonna call it for the night.
We did have a question in the beginning before we started that maybe we could address.
About the name of the channel?
About the name of the channel. I mean, if you're new here, some people might not know. I think we have talked about it in videos before.
If you're still here in the chat and watching to the end, you probably know.
Yeah, there I am. My Lady Disdain is a reference to Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Beatrice is one of my favorite characters, and John and I have always said that we were actually very much like Beatrice and Benedict. We fought all the time until we got together, and now we don't fight anymore.
Yeah, we fought like we hated each other for a year straight.
Yeah, and now we just don't fight. It doesn't happen. So I also used it because initially it was just about basically my theory on the name is that I want to do things that are what I want to do regardless of what people think. Like, and so that's like basically like, you know, like basically like I don't care what you think is the whole attitude of it. I enjoy this. I like being a girl. I like doing girly things. I love my dolls. I love sewing. I love pink. I love all of that stuff. It doesn't make me any less of a strong modern person. So that is basically the gist of where it all came from. So it's called My Lady Disdain.
Jenna wants to know how we met. We'll save that for another day.
We did meet doing theater. I'll go that far.
Yeah. So you're welcome to keep asking, and someday we'll be ready. But thank you all for showing up in the live chat. Thank you all for watching at home. Please give this video a like if you want to help spread it to everybody else. And stay tuned for some more content, some custom costumes coming up, and some more progress on our Create Room journey. We're digging in next to our creative blocks and setting goals for ourselves to help get past those obstacles. So looking forward to it. Hope you are too. And we will see you next Monday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.